promised that I was going to take you through the entire gamut of image consulting, your appearance, your behavior, and your communication. And I left you with an assignment. I said, what does style mean to you? I got back thousands. Well, let me not exaggerate. I got back a lot of emails. It's interesting that most people see style as just your physical apparel. Well, I have a winner, someone whose definition was very close to mine, and I'll tell you what mine is. Style is more than just pure appearance. It's the conveyance of an aura of distinction that is hard to define, but easy to recognize. So that's what happens when you see certain people and you say, I don't know what it is about this person, but this person just has style. So it is that style message that I bring to you. And in this episode, apart from the definition of style, I want us to look at different words or definitions and their real meanings and how they affect the way we project our brand, our personal brand. For instance, the word brand is one that I believe has been abused, thoroughly abused in this space, in fact, the world over. So let's start with brand. What is a brand? A brand is simply a promise to deliver on something. Let's take Oprah, for instance. She's a brand. And what's her promise? Oprah's promise is hope and empathy. Let's take Apple. Apple's promise is innovative technology. Let's take Michael Jackson. It's magic, unrivaled entertainment. What about brand you? What's your promise? And if indeed you've defined your brand promise, are you living up to your promise consistently, all the time? And if you're doing that, well, kudos to you. So let's say you're living your brand promise and you are communicating your intended messages. Are you looking at all of the other things, that matter to your audience? This is where we begin to look at things like civility, like respect, like confidence, like crossing the line between confidence and arrogance. But let's not rush things. Let's take or trace our steps back. Let's look at civility. If we're talking about image consulting and we say we want to look at the entire gamut of image consulting, I'll just run you through it very quickly. It starts from appearance, yes, that gets your foot in the door. It goes to how you project through to how you speak. So appearance is nonverbal, and how you speak or actually communicate, right? In addition to how you've communicated with how you look, now becomes, your spoken word. So from appearance through to the spoken word, okay? Now you are an established brand, you are a successful brand, but there's some people who say, that person is just arrogant. Or you're not yet successful, but you feel you know your onions, you bring your A game, but you still don't communicate with your audience. And you're thinking, what's wrong with these people? I go to school, go read this thing now. I understand the business, but you're not communicating even at work with your team. What is the problem? Is it a civility problem? Is it a respect problem? Is it a I know it all problem and so I can get away with whatever? Brings me to my next word, respect. Do you actually respect the people that you work with? Do you respect people at home? Do you respect your audiences? In the African parlance, respect seemingly would be from a senior to a junior, or the junior person respecting the senior person. I've heard a lot of people say that person doesn't have respect. Is she my mate? Have you conducted yourself in a way that you earn the respect? Respect is not commanded, it is earned. And so when we talk about civility, which is a very important aspect of projecting a strong brand, remember, consistently, civility is more than just manners. Civility is more than just etiquette. It encompasses three things, which we call the 3 R's of civility. There is respect, there is responsibility, owning your actions, and there is restraint, when to act, when not to act. And this is where we begin to talk about comportment. This is when we begin to address the issue that you cannot control people's responses. The only person's response that you can control is yours. So how do you act? Is it an irate customer? Is it an incorrigible or difficult boss? Have you made up your mind to always live through your brand and your brand promise? Now, this might seem like a lot to take on or in at once, but I want to start your mind thinking about things that you have ignored before now. Now, you know my background was in law, and you know no one man can, boast of being repository of all knowledge. So forgive me as I go to my notes. This is a course that I developed for corporates. This course is on personal effectiveness and behavioral skills. But every time I'm speaking about anything at all, I go back to the basics. And one thing I want to go to today is, why do people act a certain way? That question comes up, or that is usually the response question when I say to people, you can control your responses, but you're not in control of how other people respond to you. So brings in the serenity prayer. I forget the words of the prayer. I think is, God give me the courage to think, God give me the courage to change the things I can. God give me the strength to change the things I can, the courage to accept the things I cannot change, and the wisdom to know the difference. But why do people act a particular way? Why does Ifeoma respond in one way and Lara responds another way? It's because of our value system. Note that, our value system. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. Your next assignment, what are values? I was going to go into it here, but I'm going to take a break now. And when we come back, we'll address why people behave the way they do and what values have to do with this behavior. I cannot wait to catch up with you in a few moments.